to at least touch base with them. And as you know, they're all very responsive to their emails and things like that, so feel free to reach out anytime anything comes up. And we will go ahead and get started. Just a minute. Real quickly, I'm also at the end going to discuss really briefly Pam McDowell. So if once you see her hand the mic on to me, if that's just something you know on your forefront that you're not interested in, you can feel free to go ahead and exit. But we just wanted you to use this opportunity so that you can at least hear a little bit about it, because it's a very big highlight of the term.
Hello. So we're going to jump into academics here first. And our big change in Madison City this year is our ELA curriculum. And you'll keep going. One more. Okay. If ELA teachers look a little haggard, it's because we've been processing all of this stuff. We got new standards about 18 months ago from the state, and then we adopted a new curriculum in Madison City at the end of last year. And it comes with mountains of resources that we've been kind of like filtering through and figuring out all the things. So this, if you want to know all the state standards, please feel free in your hours of spare time to read them. Okay, so this is new and different. Madison City has adopted a phonics program. And it is catered to 5th grade. So think like multi-syllabic words, phonics, not like cat, right? But one big change, assessment-wise, grading-wise, because I know that's what you're concerned about, right? Is that at the end of every week, the kids have 2 dictation sentences that come from the words and the roots and the skill that we've been practicing in the classroom. Does that make sense? Okay. Like last week's roots were ed, ing, dis, and trans. And so the words were like, I will transform the dissected strips of cloth, blah, 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 whatever it was. So they're integrated into the sentences. This is not a rote 20-word spelling list that you can like practice with them. So it's a little more abstract than that, just to let you know. And then, open court, mountains of resources. If you want extra practice, you just call us. We have plenty. But they will be given weekly assessments. This is another change that we want you to be aware of. Some of those weekly assessments will be on a story that they've been taught through the week. So we've practiced it. You can read it with them at home ahead of time. I know that's a change from our last curriculum where it was a cold read. They would get it the first time, they would see it for the very first time in the classroom. However, those have not gone away. Every 6 weeks, they will see that cold read passage that they've never seen before that you can't practice with them ahead of time with questions that align with those same standards.
All right, reading. Independent reading plan. As a school, all grade levels are going to be doing their independent reading plan. Every scholar is expected to do some type of independent reading at home. You'll see information come out either on our website or come out via our email about, hey, make sure your scholar is reading at least 30 minutes. It's a desire to grow their reading comprehension, those critical thinking skills at home. We have a book commercial that is done with Ms. Neal that we get to do as 5th graders. And in that, we have the opportunity for scholars to provide evidence of that independent reading that they're doing. Now, if they're ever like, hey, I really don't know how to do it, or some information, I'm missing it, can you help me? To Ms. Schrader, Ms. Glass, or Ms. Chapman, we're guiding and walking them through that curriculum in the classroom, and we'll be able to put what we're learning in the classroom into their independent reading to help them with their book commercials. And we do different genres for each book commercial. So they're going to be seeing different things in the classroom, and we're going to be encouraging them to also read those different genres at home. also a math teacher, but I'm gonna pass it off. Pass it to George.
Okay, so Alabama has, just like the ELA, has a very set amount of standards that we need to hit for our 5th grade. And so our curriculum really works to cover all of that. But Alabama is also pushing the Numeracy Act, just like they are with their Literacy Act. So we really want to see our 5th graders become fluent with their math facts. Math facts, math facts, math facts. Because once we get those down, then the rest of the math becomes easier. We don't have to fight to figure out all of the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and remember the processes. We want to teach the processes as much as possible. So I think if there were any plea or cry for help from us as math teachers, it would be, please, even flashcards, those I Ready lessons. Let me tell you, those I Ready lessons are stellar for that kind of a thing. So math facts and that math fluency is really going to help your child get over those humps. And I've already told all of our kids that 5th grade math is life math. You will use it every day. We're talking dollars and cents and cooking and percentages and long division, and you'll use it. Live math happens in 5th grade, so it's super important that we get that done for them. We are using the Big Ideas curriculum, and then it follows those Alabama standards, which are super important. Do you want to talk more about the...
Hey everybody, I'm Miss Lynn. I'm going to talk a little bit about Math Workshop. So Math Workshop is a way of dividing up our instructional minutes to make sure that each student has an opportunity to participate in a whole class lesson followed by some kind of either practice activity or hands-on activity, as well as the opportunity to join the teacher for a small group. We all have rotations of small groups that we do to make sure that kids can come to us for assistance for whatever skill we're targeting. And then Mrs. Lavar already talked about fluency, but a big focus for Madison City Schools this year is on fluency. Not just, well, in 5th grade, it's a lot of work on multiplication and division facts, and we are emphasizing not just memorizing those facts, but using strategies so that if they can't recall a fact, they have a strategy to figure out the fact. So like, a good example would be like, if you can't remember what 8 times 7 is, you could start with 4 times 7 and then double that. So we'll be teaching them strategies to help them make that easier as we go.
So assessments, we have a variety of different assessments. One thing that we do is the Big Ideas assessment, which is district, where we do each individual unit. Currently, we're working on place value, decimals, comparing ordinary decimals, that's my jam. And we'll be having an actual assessment coming up very soon regarding that. But we also, as math teachers, collaborate to have a weekly point check just to see if the students are grasping the skill. That way, if they're not, we can have immediate reflection as teachers, and then also how we can best support them to make sure that they're mastering the skill at their level. That's why we do weekly assessments. The chapter assessments are the Big Ideas, and then we have quarter assessments, where it's every three chapters. We'll have a assessment to see how we're doing, which is great, because oftentimes scholars, if we're not going back and reviewing and spiraling, we might have a gap somewhere. So we'll have our quarter assessments as well to help monitor their growth throughout the curriculum for the whole year.
Okay, I'm back to talk about advanced math. So the biggest difference between the advanced math class and the Big Ideas math class is that for our core curriculum in advanced math, we use a program called M3, which stands for Mentoring Mathematical Minds. And it's meant to give the students experience with hands-on problem solving, conceptual math, and kind of just helping them to understand like the real world applications of the math that we do. So we teach procedures, of course, but we also want them to understand why the procedures work. So we do a lot of work to help them kind of make meaning of the math that they do. In advanced math, all 5th grade standards are taught. So one concern I hear is sometimes parents think we're diving right into 6th grade math, and that's not the case. We do cover 6th grade standards, But our focus, especially at this time of the school year, is on the fifth grade standards. And we use big ideas to supplement and just give the kids extra practice where needed. Science.
Good evening. I'm Mrs. McCall, and this is Mrs. Lacey, and we both teach science. We follow the Alabama course of study, and we use the STEM Scopes program to teach the science standards to your students. We do a lot of hands-on activities. We also incorporate videos and different lessons for them to master the things that are taught. Your child is also responsible for keeping a science notebook, and in that notebook will be notes and vocabulary words that they will be tested on at the end of the chapter. And I'm going to pass this on to.
Hey guys, I'm Miss Lacey. We both also do social studies along with Ms. Chapman. And for social studies, again, we pretty much follow the Alabama state standards. In covering that, we also use Studies Weekly. That is a newspaper that your child will begin bringing home in the next couple of weeks, but up until then, they do have digital access to that, and they're clever. They should have started like at least being able to go and explore it, see what it's all about, where everything's located, being familiar with that. So when they do get their newspaper, they kind of know what to do with it. They'll also be having a few projects in social studies that correlates along with science, so that'll work hand in hand. Also, the Studies Weekly is a one-time $8 fee. I know lots of you have already sent that in. If you haven't, it's just a one-time $8, and it covers all of their newspapers. For digital literacy and computer science, this comes into all of their subjects. They'll be using their Chromebooks at least once a day, every day. We do really focus on, in fifth grade, teaching them and showing them how to be great digital citizens, how to use the internet wisely and respectfully and responsibly, and making sure that they know how and when is the right time to use certain resources on that.
Piggybacking on the, piggybacking off of the digital literacy and just building strong digital citizens, we use an app at our school called The Guardian, where we are able to access, or look at what they are looking at on their screen in real time. So if we give them an assignment to do, and they decide, we're going to play Roblox instead, I can see that, and I'll send little messages like, hey, you should be working on this instead of building robots. Or please exit immediately, or sometimes I'll just exit for them and I just click it. Now, outside of school, we're asking for you all's help to kind of help monitor what they do. The temptation is there to get on YouTube and do other things that are unnecessary, but I think if we work together on that, we can make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to do and using their Chromebooks, for school things only, and not downloading extra apps and things of that nature on the computer.
Equally so, you have access to things as parents, and we strongly encourage you to utilize that access. You can, I think some of our favorite ways is just to look over their shoulder, all right, click that, now click that, now click that. The kids have clever dashboards that give them access to their math textbooks, their reading textbooks, all of those things. If you have a question, there is an elementary parent site, and we'll send that link out tomorrow along with these slides. That's very helpful. I know I sent somebody to that today to set up their parent account for Schoology so that they can get the reports of when their kids are turning in work or not turning in work. Either way it goes. We're going to get to a slide in just a second, but I just we want to really push that we need you to get on PowerSchool so that you can check your child's progress. Please don't wait till the progress reports are coming out or the report cards are coming out to then go, oh my gosh, how do you have a whatever? Please check them regularly. We're going to post grades weekly. I mean, maybe not daily, maybe not in the moment that they turn it in, but they will be posted weekly. So please check on that. And if you see that your kid is missing an assignment, it could be as simple as clicking the submit button that they didn't do, right? We've all checked an email and not hit send and gone, what happened? So please double check on that. That's incredibly helpful. I know we've got middle school parents, and Chapman and Slynn, they talk about middle schoolers. They have the app on their phone, it dings every time a grade comes in. Mr. Turner, that's the middle schooler guy. So they're experiencing that from that end, so please get in the habit of doing that as your child is getting ready to head to middle school. Yeah, Ms. McCall kind of hit on this. Oh, fine, assessment.
Oh, you handed it to me, how nice. The fun stuff that we don't want to talk about, right? So we just finished our IRA. I know our kids are extremely happy, right, kids? Right? We are extremely happy. IRA is finally finished. It was so exciting. Our diagnostic is very important because it provides us with the baseline data. I know we say, hey, they finished in 4th grade. You're right. But that was a couple months ago. So they took their diagnostic just last week, actually. We administered it 3 times. He just finished last week, and then we'll have one in December, and then we'll have one in May, right after April, right after ACAP. We're going to have lots of incentives to help with that, to keep them motivated, just to see how they grow and progress over time. Our ACAP we take once a year, and it's at the end of by the end of the year, typically during the fourth 9 weeks, and it covers reading and math. So there's that reading because there's no science and social studies involved, but math and reading are very heavy. Then, of course, in our regular classrooms for all of our subjects, we have formative assessments. Some of them are through observation, classroom discussions and discourse, as well as written. These are things that are ongoing in our classrooms at all times, just so that we can see where our scholars are growing, so that we can assist them to be 6th grade ready. Homework. Pass that on.
Okay, in 5th grade, a lot of the kids are like, when am I getting homework? Do I need to do this for homework? Are you going to give me an extra work page for homework? They seem very eager for homework. However, there was a good sigh of relief when, as a 5th grade team, we kind of told them that unless you don't finish it in class, you're not really going to have a lot of homework. In 5th grade, your homework is unfinished work. If you get it finished in class, then that's great. If you don't, that's okay. You can finish it at home. At times, we will send home some extra practice. Absolutely know that these will all pertain to what we're learning in class. It's not just extra busy work that we're sending home. We also do suggest for homework that kiddos read for 20 to 30 minutes a day. This helps in every subject. It's not just reading. The reading helps in math, it helps in science, it helps in social studies. Practicing math facts. I know they said that they really appreciate practicing math facts. And that can be done in multiple different ways to make that fun, so that they're not just dreading doing math facts when they get home. And then studying for science assessments. I'm not sure what it's called these days. Studying for their tests, the upcoming tests that they have. I'm not sure if we have a slide specifically about PAWPAD. This is a good place for that. All of their information about assessments, upcoming quizzes, projects, all of that will be in their PAWPAD, or it should be. Checking that daily is a great way to make sure that they're staying on top of what their to-do list is. And you know, like, oh, another test coming up. And maybe sometimes that newsletter just slips through the email, it doesn't get looked at. Sometimes you just overlook things when you're reading, it happens. But making sure that that PAWPAD's being checked really points out the things that they're missing. And I ready, in 5th grade, they do 2 lessons weekly per subject. I've got some different opinions coming from different kiddos, and I asked them if they're what they done in 4th grade. Some of them said that they had 1 per week, some 2 per week. But in 5th grade, we did 2 reading and 2 math at 75% accuracy. literacy. I know sometimes that can get a little skewed, some kids are thinking, oh, 2 a week, 1 reading, 1 math. It is technically a total of 4 per week, but 2 reading and 2 math, I know that's 71%. Can we speak on our reading? Absolutely.
For math, we thank you. I know the math might look like it gets hard and your scholar might get extremely frustrated and say, help me. Please do not help your scholar do their iReady math. iReady is adaptive. That means the more you get right, the harder it gets. So to keep the boy wasn't going to happen where the some had scholars on 8th grade and 9th grade curriculum because they were being helped at home by brothers and sisters and moms. I know our desire is to want to help them. iReady will actually lock a skill if it gets too hard. It also sends us messages to let us know what's happening and what could happen, like what deficits there are, so that we can lock the domain, we can adjust the domain, and we can also use that as an opportunity to help provide additional instruction for iReady. And in math specifically, if you feel like it's something stressful, please reach out to your scholar's math teacher and let them know, because we can do a mini lesson if it is getting harder and your scholars just that brilliant. We can do mini lessons, we can figure it out to make sure that they stay academically challenged and getting it, where they're doing the work, but we're scaffolding to support that. Thank you.
Hi, so I'm going to talk about the behavior plan that we use in 5th grade. So we implement Class Dojo, and if you are not connected to Class Dojo, please contact your homeroom teacher, your child's homeroom teacher, so that they can get you set up with that. Negative dojo points, basically points are removed in the dojo for poor choices. Behaviors are weighted based on severity from 1 to 3 points. So the first negative might be a warning. Now, keep in mind, before we even give negative dojos, we have given multiple verbal, non-verbal, warnings, whether it's a look, whether it's a, a touch on the shoulder, whether it's a, talking to them one-on-one in the hallway. Like, we have given multiple warnings before we give, negative dojos. If they have 2 negative dojos, there's teacher consequence. If there's a total of 3 negative dojos, they miss Marvelous Monday. I know some of you all had Fun Friday. The kids had Fun Friday last year. We'll be 2 hours on Mondays. So the 4th or 5th negative is a teacher consequence. It just depends on the severity of the act. And then the 6th negative dojo, they have a lunch/recess detention. And what that means is they will go to the ISS room during recess, and they will stand there and fill out a reflection sheet, that just basically asks them questions like, why are you here? What did you do? How could we have reacted differently? What could we have done differently? What choices can I make the next time if I'm put in the same similar situation? And they will eat their lunch in the ISS room as well. You don't do after school or before school detentions. Anything that is very, very severe is the immediate office referral. Our dojos reset at the end of every Monday, so we keep them on a weekly basis, so Monday to Monday. So if they lose those 3 dojos within the week, Monday to Monday, then they could, lose their Marvelous Monday. And what we're basically trying to do is just prepare them for middle school. They can receive negative dojos for not having their Chromebook charged because they're not prepared for school. And they will need that Chromebook for class. And so coming to me when I'm saying, okay guys, go ahead and take out our Chromebooks, log into StemScopes. Ms. McCall, my computer's not charged. Sometimes I'll let them charge, I'll go ahead and let them charge. I'll say, okay, sweetie, but I'm happy to give you a negative dojo because you're not prepared for class. Please let's try not to let that happen again. So we're just trying to prepare them for middle school. They do have ways to earn positives. Now what we do is we give tickets. If you look at your child's planner or binder or folder, they should have a sheet of paper that on one side it has like little boxes where the teachers can sign for just the above and beyond things. Reward categories go from 3 tickets, 5, and 10 tickets. And students are responsible for carrying their own ticket sheet. And some of the prizes are you get to eat lunch wherever you want and choose 2 friends. Breakfast donut, lunch with administration. Just different things of that nature. So, like I said, we're just really trying to work hard to just prepare them to become like productive citizens and just get them ready for middle school. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
All right, the next one is report cards. We always get questions about how the grades are broken down. So if you'll just kind of attune to the ELA and the math and science, like just the breakdowns, it's not a straight average. So some grades are weighted almost twice as much as others, if you notice that. So in ELA, our reading assessments are 70% of their overall average, and language and spelling are 30%. So like those dictation pieces that I was talking about earlier is 30% of their average. So it is weighted much lower than our reading assessments. In math, well, I'm going to read what it says, but I don't teach math. It says 70% are assessments, and then 30% are like their daily classwork, quizzes, things like that. And then science and social studies are also weighted. So when you go in and you look at your child's grades, and you wonder why one grade brought them down so much on their overall average, consider how much that grade is weighted over other things. It does say dates to expect report cards, but I'll say it again, please get on PowerSchool. Please don't wait for a 9-week or 3-week progress report. Let's resolve issues in a timely manner so that we can get things turned around before you see a report card or progress report.
Can I say something, Ms. Rader? I'm sorry. When you log into PowerSchool and you see your child is missing a grade, I know the first reaction to do is to like email the teacher immediately and say, okay, why does my child have 0? But a lot of times, if you check on that PowerSchool, there's a little text box. And I know that for the most part, we all will put like why there's a 0 there. Whether it's the text box, if you click on it, there's a message and it'll say, please complete, submit ASAP. Once they submit that, the grade is changed. Or it might say, you know, this assignment is 2 days late. I'm taking 10 points off. Like messages are there. So, you know, or also, you know, chat with your child. We have to start trying to, you know, hold them accountable for those things too. Like, okay, I'm looking at your grades, I see this 0, what's going on in Ms. McCall's class? What's going on in Ms. Slynn's class? Why do we have a 0? We have to start, you know, holding them accountable and double checking things as well. Like PowerSchool is a major good tool to use, and you can check that, like I said, weekly.
And we encourage them to check their own grades.
Yeah, we showed them how to like log into PowerSchool and look at their grades as well. Because we want them to be able to advocate for themselves as well. Like, they should be able to come to me. Like, I understand like things get hectic and busy, and they might have submitted something late and I forgot to put it in. You know, come to me and say, Ms. McCall, you know, I showed you that vocabulary foldable. When I look in PowerSchool, it still says 0. Oh, okay, sweetie, you're right, and I can update it right then and there. So we have to start like teaching them and training them to start advocating for themselves as well. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. But remember, we put in grades weekly. So like, if they've turned it in and it's 3 days late, and the grade's not there immediately, so you know, my grade's not there. Like, you turned it in 20 minutes ago. I've been teaching. Like, hello. So just so you know, we will get it in, we will update it. If it goes beyond a week, please let us know. But these are dates for progress report. Ignore this because you're going to check PowerSchool, right?
Right.
Love it. This is Miss Mayo. She's our counselor for 5th grade. And she provides all of these services. And then if you don't know, your children have specials every day. So they have STEM, they have counseling, they have music, they have art, they have all the things. They have character lessons, all the things in addition to PE. And then for those of you who have students who qualify for the gifted program, Ms. Tibbs and Ms. Aaron, I think Ms. Aaron is here, I think I saw her, serve our gifted students in 5th grade, and so they go to their gifted class on Thursdays to receive those services. I think you know most of this at this point. Please make sure they come to school with their backpack. I know it seems crazy, but we have had a student come to school this year without his backpack. It's rather important. Water bottle, only water, please. There's just too many of them in the room, and they're all moving around, and things get spilled, and so please, only water. And they do have snack time daily. So please send them, not a full lunch, a snack.
Can I say something
I
about
know they're
snack?
really
Sorry,
children.
sorry to cut you off. Okay, one thing about the snack is we try to stay away from anything that leaves residue on the hands, like the Dorito chips, the Takis, the Cheetos, anything that's gonna cupcakes, even if they're individually wrapped, anything that's gonna leave a mess or leave something where they are licking their hands. Let's try and stay away from that, because a lot of the students sometimes, especially in science class, if we're having to do like a lab and they're like eating Cheetos, and I'm saying, all right guys, let's get ready for lab. Okay, let's go. And I'm like, no, that's gross. Let's go wash up. So try and do things, grapes, goldfish, the little Nutri-Grain, bars, like things that they can digest quickly, because it really isn't a lunch. It's supposed to be like 5-10 minutes, not even 10. Like you're eating this, something just to hold you over until lunch, and we're getting the ball rolling and going into our educational day. So, okay, that's all.
And cookies and candy are not snacks. We have fruit roll-ups and fruit by the foods. Those are not snacks. So just encouraging them to have something that is good. It will keep their energy going throughout the day without a crash.
Alright, hello everyone. My name is Lauren Cecil. I'm the new assistant principal. I know a lot of you already, but if I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you and your family, I would love to say hello and get to know you. I'm going to touch on attendance really quickly. It's something that's so important for you and your family and your students. We love your kiddos. We want them here at school every day as much as possible. Of course, we understand that, people get sick and things happen, but if your kid can be at school that day, we want them here. So to quickly cover our attendance policy, a lot of you know this already. If your student is going to be absent, please email that attendance email, MTES attendance in Madison City. If you send a note in with your child, it will not count towards that. It has to go to the email. So if you know your kid is going to be out for a reason, or if you have a doctor's excuse, anything like that, can all be sent to that email. That is the best way to do it. And just for y'all's information, after 3 unexcused absences, a parent note will be sent home, and I will call you. Just so you know. And after 5 unexcused absences, you'll receive a second letter, and you will come and meet with me or another administrator just to talk about attendance and what's going on and how we can help you with that situation. And then after 7 unexcused absences, it gets a little more serious. The parent will receive a 3rd letter to notify you of a meeting with the district attendance officer. So that gets into a big hassle, your work, you're busy with things going on, have to take your time out of the day to go and do that. It's just going to be a pain. So we want to avoid that. And then after 10 excused absences, you'll have to actually go to truancy court, and a referral will be made based on those attendance concerns. And if your child does get into that truancy level, that can prevent them from going on to the next grade. It just hurts them in so many ways. And plus, 5th grade is a huge grade. If your kid's not here for a day, you might think, oh, that's not a big deal. They are covering so much, even just in one day. Everything they're learning is new, and they're building upon it. So, and Ms. Meester and Mr. I were even like looking at some attendance research and adding up the days missed and how that accounts on their academic record and what they're learning. So it's just really important that they're at school every day. And if you have questions about it, please feel free to reach out. Of course, we're going to excuse doctor's notes and family events and things like that, but please use that attendance email so we can help you keep track of it. I'm doing this too. Okay. All right. So the dress code, this is all online in the Madison City Handbook. It's on Midtown's website, it's on Madison's website. But it's just basic, common sense. We want students to not wear shirts that represent anything inappropriate. We want to make sure that all clothing is covering everything, nothing too revealing. If that is the case, we will call you and ask you to bring your student a change of clothes. Clothing that's not able to provide coverage, like we ask that if a girl wears a dress, they wear some shorts under, something like that. They're outside playing, they're recess. We just want to make sure everybody's covered. And if anything rips or tears or anything like that, we'll call. And you don't really have to do this in 5th grade as much. I know the younger grades, we ask parents to send an extra change of clothes. But if that's something you're worried about, just in case, I know a lot of kids wear a jacket every day just because it's still in the building. That's always good to have on hand. And this, specifically with girls, we ask that the straps, like no spaghetti straps, basically. Just something like covering the shoulder. But mainly common sense, we just want everyone to be covered and good to go and acceptable in an academic environment.
All right, fun part, field trips. Yay! Ms. Denise is going to talk about the Camp McDowell field trip. She's been several times, I've been several times. That is a trip that is out of town and overnight, which I know is a big thing for 5th grade. There is an out of town, out of overnight permission slip that has to be notarized, and these two lovely ladies over here, are notaries. So you can knock that out tonight if you would like to. We also go to Liberty Legacy. It's at Bob Jones, so it's just an hour and a half sort of deal. And then the middle school visits are usually around February that we'll go and visit Discovery and Journey with the middle schoolers. And we'll start to go out classes and all the options, and they get very excited. These are all of our teachers. Ms. Wash should be returning in early September off of her medical leave, so she'll be coming back, and I know that several of you would love to meet her. And so all the subjects that we teach, and then Ms. Darby, who is our resource teacher, she's in the back as well. And our PTA, we have PTA here. I know I've seen you. Oh, there you are.
Hey guys, so my name is Lindsay Boyer. I am VP of Programs, Ways and Means, and basically means I'm in charge of making money for PTA. One of the things I wanted to bring up real quick is we do have our fundraiser kickoff coming up in a month. Beth Green, also a 5th grade parent, is our fundraiser chair. She's done a phenomenal job for the last 9 years. We got it right this time, right? So we'd love to have you involved with that. We have lots of opportunities for volunteering. We do duty-free lunch for the teachers. We let them go eat lunch without the kids once a month. So that volunteer sign-up will be coming out next week. We'd love to have you join PTA. We've got a couple great giveaways from Ms. Peaches Palmer, our VP of membership this week. I'm coming for you. She is coming for everybody, but we've got a fantastic trash can that's gift basket, as well as a family membership package for the Mechanical Garden, so anyways, September 1st. Our email address and website are up here if you have any questions. I'm a 5th grade parent. Jessica Basham has a 5th grader. She's also on our board, she's our secretary, and Peaches is here to answer membership questions as well. We've got a few merchandise items outside for sale afterwards if you're interested, but otherwise, thank you.
Hi, okay, I recognize the time, so I know I'm on the clock here. I'm just quickly going to briefly go over some of the high points of Camp McDowell. Raise your hand if you're pretty interested in that trip. Okay, great, it's awesome, and I can't recommend recommend it enough. I don't know if you know this about me, but in my teaching career, I taught 1st, 3rd, and 5th, and I would have never thought that 5th grade was my spot, so I ended up teaching that for 7 years, and so I've been to Camp McDowell many times. It is a wonderful experience, and it would be extremely special to share that with your child. Our dates, so just go ahead and walk those out for work schedules if you're planning to attend, are October 16th through 18th. You'll leave that Monday around 8 o'clock and then return that Wednesday around 2 p.m. A little bit about it, it's been around for 25 plus years. It's a 900-acre outdoor classroom. It's in a place called Nauvoo, Alabama. It's about an hour and a half, or so. There's an instructor for every 12 students. It's highly interactive, hands-on. They're hiking, they're canoeing, pond studies, animals, all of it. It is a wonderful experience. The cost is for the students is $175. That includes 6 classes, 7 meals, 2 nights of really, really nice lodging, and a canteen snack. The transportation is the school bus. And then the chaperone fee is $150, and that's kind of along the same lines of what it includes for the student. And remember, as you've seen in my weekly updates, to be able to go to this, you definitely have to do that background check. So go ahead if you haven't had the chance to do that and get that done as soon as you can. The curriculum is related to the Alabama course of study for science, social studies, PE, and language arts. There, like I said, there's a lot of opportunities. It's an outdoor classroom. There's forest streams, canyon ponds, waterfalls, meadows. There is a canoeing class. There's a wobbly bridge that's kind of scary but fun that you'll walk over the hiking. There's even a night hike. It's a great experience. Cabins. Now these are not the greatest. Everything I've said about it is wonderful. Please just be prepared like it's truly camping. They accommodate 12 to 18 people. They are rustic but heated in the winter. Hopefully it won't be too cold in October, but you never really know in Alabama. There are indoor bathrooms with hot water showers, screen windows. You will have to provide your own toiletries and linens when you attend. All classes, recreational activities, and evening programs are completely run by their personnel. Our teachers are not putting this on. If your child takes a medication, this is really important to know there's a full-time RN there. And we will be very specific about medication and our expectations with that, just to be very careful. That will go through Nurse Amy, and we will communicate that with you if you decide to take your child. 7 meals, 2 snacks, for afternoon refreshments. There are t-shirts that you can choose to purchase. They're around $15 to $20. In the dining hall, there's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 2 meals on Monday, 3 meals on Tuesday, and 2 meals on Wednesday. There are nutritious, kid-friendly foods. I was going to tell you about it, but you can see if you go. It's a really cool concept of what they teach the kids about not wasting food. That's kind of an in-person experience that I want you to see. And then there's snacks as well. I'll let you review that. That's a sample schedule. Sorry, last time we went Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so sorry. This is actually Monday. Tuesday, hold on, go back. Just so they can see real quick. So it is a full day, so they'll be really tired. Okay, go ahead, and this day 3 will actually be Wednesday. And get ready, when they come home, they will be exhausted, and so will you. Parents must bring their child to and from school on the day of the Camp McDowell field trip. They will ride down on the bus. Chaperones, we need to, especially if you have big, huge, nice trucks or SUVs, that's really helpful, but we'll take whatever we can get. The chaperones actually take all the luggage. So it's really nice, and we actually have a system to it now where we will divvy out like cones and mark what cabins get which luggage, and then we will load them up that way. So if you have a truck or an SUV, be thinking of driving that to help us out. Any student that would like to go will have the opportunity. And then they have cabin groups, of course, during the day, this is what they're with more, is their field groups. And that's boys and girls, of course, but the cabin, of course, is boys and girls separately. So we do try to ask them, though, their preferences on that and try to honor as much as we can, just so they're comfortable and with people that, they'll have fun with. Just so you know, as far as Midtown personnel, 4 Midtown teachers will be there. Like I said, there is that RN. We are looking for 10 male and 10 female. And let me just say one more time, 10 male. We tend to have a lot of mothers that are interested in going, which we really appreciate, but we really need some men to be there to be like in the boys' cabins and things like that. So if you're a dad, this is a gentle nudge and you're thinking about it, we would love to see your name on that. And if we have more, this has happened at Midtown because Midtown parents seem to really go all in, which I appreciate and I love so very much. But if we have more, we will draw names from a hat. That's just kind of the most fair way. So if you'll go ahead and what would you like the process to be as far as interest in chaperoning if they are? Okay, if you are interested in chaperoning, go ahead and send an email, just express that interest to your child's homeroom teacher. You can do it as early as today. Whenever you feel comfortable, go ahead and we'll just start documenting that and making a list and we'll keep you updated on that. Soon there will be a newsletter sent with all Camp McDowell information. If you are chosen to be a chaperone, there will be a chaperone meeting. If you are 100% want to commit to it and go ahead and move forward with it, there are the notaries here, and that's just the out-of-town overnight field trip form. It does have to be notarized, so that's so nice of them. Thank you for coming tonight. But yeah, we appreciate you guys coming to this. We do have a card and a bucket right here if you have any fifth grade specific questions about anything, even outside of Camp McDowell. Anything else?
You can also scan the QR code to submit questions. On the table.
Yeah, okay. There's a QR code on some of the tables, if not, it's over this way, and you can see it and put questions that way. But thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your greatest gift with us. That's not something we take lightly. We love them very much, and we're lucky that they come to Midtown every day. We're always here to help you in any way. Have a great night. Don't forget to do that. I would take advantage. Also, they said at the library, you can do it for $1. The public library has a notary for $1. Okay, thank you guys so much. Have a great night.